The life of a lion has no greater calling than to courage and bravery against all odds. It's been almost 10 years since Mr. T left us in one of the boldest acts we will ever remember. Proof that any fighter's greatest moment is when he faces that which cannot be conquered with no fear or mortality. This is the iconic photo of a king, the true essence and the spirit of a lion. You can see the incredible pain and the fire in his eyes, yet nothing could break his resolve as his life force was waning. Nothing could extinguish Mr. T's rage against the dying of the light. It was in the year 2010 when a new pride of Mapogo Lions had tried to take control of the Sabi Sand, when the death of Kinkitail was recorded for the world to witness. In a battle that lasted for hours, Kinkitail was taken down in the same way. He and his ferocious brother Mr. T hunted all their lives. The young Mapogo tore apart Kinkitail's body, and he was being eaten alive, leaving Mr. T almost orphaned. The lone lion then moved towards the south to be with his 4 other brothers, who by now had prides of their own. In early 2012, the Mapogo territory was yet again invaded by the 4 Salati during the absence of the Mapogos. One of the females of resident prides went on to mate with the new males. This was all the Salatis needed, as the urge to find females brought them closer waist deep into the Mapogos' controlled area. The conflict was inevitable, and in February 2012, the Salatis laid a few beatings into the aging Mapogos way beyond their prime. The Mapogo coalition was no match for the fury of these 4 young Salati brothers. In daytime of March 16, 2012, the young southern males successfully caught Mr. T. They quickly mauled him, and the attack was so brutal, with a huge gash on his back. You could hear him actually screaming in pain, and a sound so horrifying when one of the males bites and snaps Mr. T's spine, paralyzing him. And even with this unimaginably painful injury, he still continued fighting till his last breath, never giving up.
Still trying to take on the coalition after they ripped him apart.
Mr. T Lion is without a doubt one of the greatest and most fierce lion ever recorded that the world have witnessed. By taking another 4 large males to take you down, and even after his spine is severed, they still were extremely scared of getting close to him. It's just very weird that everyone knew that a fight was going to be going down, but the cameras didn't get there till late, after the fight had already started, and then his brothers were nowhere to be around. The Salati brothers gave him space to make a dash for it, but Mr. T remained standing his ground. It is assumed that when his back was broken, his hind legs were paralyzed, so he didn't feel the continued biting. As Mr. T was lying there looking into the camera while he continually kept being mauled was difficult to watch. He literally held his head up until he physically couldn't any longer. He didn't run, he accepted it, died in his territory. He knew what was going to happen. He chose the way, he went out like a warrior. He watched his brother brutally being ripped apart in front of him. Then the rest of his brothers died. He was the last one standing and didn't let go without a fight. He died defending his territory. The nights before his death, an extremely touching story happened when Mr. T actively broke up with his 2 close brothers, Makulu and Pretty Boy, because they were both injured old lions. It does not want its comrades to be involved. The next day it wandered into the territory of a group of young lions consisting of 4 males, the Salatis. Mr. T and Kinky Tail were the most hardcore lions in recorded history. There were lions who had overall better attributes, but none of them matched or had the character and the warrior spirit that these 2 possessed. It's amazing how much pain these animals can withstand and still be able to fight and try to defend themselves. We can't even imagine how painful most of these fights are. Lions are true warriors of the animal kingdom. Mr. T knew what he was doing and what had to happen. He did it for his brothers, so that they could flee to safety. He was the one who had to hold down the fort. He was destined. The Mapogo clan was not just brothers. They were an army to be feared by many. Mr. T was never subdued. Those Salatis didn't kill Mr. T. Mr. T died from injuries sustained in his battle with the Salatis. Some things are worth fighting for, yet only the strongest spirits can summon to grit to preserve through the pain. Mr. T owned it. His strength of character left us a legacy which will inspire souls to infinity. The ultimate gladiator, a brother to the end, the boldness of sacrifice, a beautiful death. Mr. T rose to face every attack. No Salati put fangs to Mr. T's throat, nor would they dare try. We can clearly see in his footage that Mr. T was still upright and in the fight even as the Salatis gave up and walked away. What was displayed was the strength of character of this magnificent animal. Mr. T's body died, but his spirit lives on in his innumerable fans worldwide. All the wounds, the blood, the enemies surrounding, outnumbered, but still Mr. T didn't give up. Fought till his last breath and held his head high. He looked straight into the eyes of his enemies and told them, "You may kill me, but you can't scare me." With the demise of Mr. T, the Mapogo era was over. Rest easy, Mr. T, the Lion King of King, a magnificent spirit, and a fitting end to a warrior.
To see an end to an era like that does have an emotional effect on you, and I'm not sure that I would like to see that again.